Senator Sullivan, I saw.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and to the nominees, congratulations. I want to follow up on Senator Blackburn's really good discussion, and I have a bunch of questions. Hopefully you can keep your answers relatively short. Where does the FTC derive its power? Why don't we start with you very quickly there?
From the statutes that Congress has passed.
Ferguson, Commissioner?
In the first instance, from the Federal Trade Commission Act.
Okay.
I agree with those answers.
And then, Mr. Dias, I'm not talking just FTC, but you as well.
We derive it from the Consumer
Okay,
Product
so
Safety
we
Act.
could get rid of you tomorrow if we voted on it, right? We could limit the number of commissioners. All your power derives from the statutory authority we grant you, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I just want to make that clear. I think we're in an age of remarkable independent agency overreach. Let me give you one example. Actually, let me give you two examples. I had meetings like this with the SEC chairman before he became the SEC chairman. I said, look, I know you're going to be tempted to make your commission all about climate change, but you don't have any authority, statutory. You don't have any expertise. So, Mr. Nominee, will you commit to me to make sure you don't make the SEC all about climate change? No, Senator, I don't plan on doing anything like that. SEC chairman told me that. He lied to me, right? I hope he's watching. He's probably not. So this is the kind of thing that just aggravates us because he didn't have that authority. I did it with the chairman of the Fed. Same thing, right? A Republican. You don't have the statutory authority. You don't have the expertise to make the Fed all about climate change. But he did, okay? So there's this remarkable period in which independent agencies come to us, oh, we're going to stay with our statutory authority, and then you get confirmed, and holy cow, it's nuts. So when Republican Commissioner Christine Wilson decided to resign as the FTC commissioner back in February, she cited the agency, quote, disregard of congressionally imposed limits on agency jurisdiction, defiance of legal precedent, and abuse of power. So can I get your commitment not only to stay within the bounds of statutory authority, but you guys are all smart lawyers, and as you know, in legal opinions, most good judges always start with a big paragraph on, hey, here's how I derive jurisdiction. Here's how the court derived jurisdiction. They go into detail. So can I get your commitment on every opinion that you issue to begin the opinion with a detailed discussion of your statutory authority? Not, hey, we get this through FTC Organic Statute X. I'm talking about down to the details. Can I get your commitment, each one of you? I'll start with you, Ms. Slaughter. Every opinion, give it to us. How do you derive the authority on what you're about to do in detail? Can I get your opinion, commitment to do that?
Yeah, so Senator, I fully agree with you that the only authority we have and can exercise is that which Congress has given us. The FTC's authority, for the record, is relatively broad in its statutory terms. It doesn't, for example, include the word healthcare, but we've talked about the important healthcare work that the agency has done. I'm reluctant to make a commitment on how to craft opinions because sometimes other colleagues are the primary drafters of them, but I will promise to you that I am extremely committed to ensuring that there is clear statutory authority for everything that we do.
Commissioner, Mr. Ferguson?
If you'll indulge me to say, I won't necessarily put it in the opening paragraph in any opinion that I write.
Okay.
If I'm in the majority, I will explain why I think the commission has the statutory authority to proceed. And if I'm in dissent, I will explain why I think they don't have the statutory authority to proceed.
Ms. Holyoke?
And the same answer.
Mr. Dias, I don't want to leave you out there. You feel a little alone.
I agree with my colleagues.
Questions. Same question, though, for you, right?
I agree with Mr. Ferguson.
We could get rid of you tomorrow if we wanted to.
Yes.
Couldn't we?
That would be the right of Congress.
Yeah, sure. Okay. I have a quick, very specific Alaska question. The Kroger-Albertsons grocery store merger was announced in October. I know you can't prejudge FTC reviews, but it's currently undergoing review. The two companies together own 35 grocery stores across Alaska. That's a sizable footprint for us. The news of the merger and recent divestment plan have raised concerns among Alaskans that it could result in store closures and high food prices. Everybody's dealing with high food prices. Our supply chain is especially vulnerable, little redundancies. Alaska imports 95% of its food, almost entirely through the port of Alaska. So as you can understand, Alaskans would be cautious of anything that would drive up prices and exacerbate these issues. If confirmed, will each of you ensure that the FTC review takes into account the concerns that I just mentioned with regard to Alaska and our unique challenges as relates to that merger? Can I not prejudge, Ms. Slaughter?
Yeah, I can't, even beyond prejudging, I can't comment on any particular potential non-public investigation, but I will tell you that I think the issues you raised are extremely important. People's access to food matters more than almost anything else, so I take it very seriously.
Mr. Ferguson?
I also commit to take your concerns very seriously.
Ms. Hawley?
Me as well, yes.
Okay, great. And then my final question, Mr. Chairman, it's not just agency overreach. The FTC, in my view, under the current chairman, has kind of made a name for herself, but not in a good way. It's on overreach, but it's also really importantly, and something this committee takes very seriously, Democrats and Republicans, on ethics. And there was this big discussion of her recusal in a certain case. Later, months later, after she decided not to recuse herself in the Meta case, a memo from the FTC's designated agency ethics official was made public, and it revealed that the FTC ethics official had recommended that the chairman remove herself from the case. So you got the ethics lawyer saying, Mr. Chairman, Madam Chairman, you shouldn't be part of this. She ignored it, tried to bury it. Ms. Slaughter, I think you supported the chairman on this. Can you explain why? I mean, the chairman looks like just blew off the ethics official and said, I don't care, I'm gonna do this. And then you supported it. Why did you support that? I mean, we need to have an agency that is above reproach in terms of ethics, and the FTC is not only looking like an overreach factory, but a very ethically challenged group of commissioners, and it's really troubling to me.
Thank you, Senator. I'll point out that I explained in detail my position in a 30-page opinion with Commissioner Bedoya, and I know you don't have the time for that here, so I'll give you the short version.
But you did go against the ethics official's memo that was buried for months during this controversy.
So as I said earlier to Senator Cruz, I think it's important that we not put staff in the middle of commissioner debates. I did say that the chair should not have to—
Wait a minute, we do that all the time in the Senate. I go to Senate ethics on issues all the time, I use them all the time. Any issue, my staff, hey, we're not sure on the ethical issues. I go to Senate ethics and say, hey, give me an opinion. And when they give me an opinion, I abide by it. So that's not putting staff in between. That's getting an ethics opinion, which you got buried and then you didn't abide by. Like, that's unethical actions, isn't it?
So I appreciate it. I appreciate the importance of the views of our ethics official.
But you ignored them?
Well, let me be very clear. There are some parts of the statute and the commission's rule that say that the views of the ethics official are dispositive. If our ethics official says you cannot participate, you cannot participate. Those are cases that mostly involve financial conflicts of interest. The question here in this case was not one involving a financial conflict of interest. It was one alleging that the chair had prejudged the matter at issue.
Well, she had, right? Because she had publicly called for a ban on future acquisitions.
Senator, I think you're over time.
No, I'm not, Mr. Chairman. I mean, who's next? It's an important issue. It's ethics at the FTC. Can ask unanimous consent to be able to finish my questioning? It's a really important line of questioning. I don't think there's anyone after me, is there?
I'm happy to continue to explain this because I think it is an important issue to talk about. So there's a distinction between financial conflicts of interest and the question of prejudgment. And on those questions, the rules and the statute do not say that the views of the ethics official are dispositive. So telling you how I approach these cases, I take the views of our staff extremely seriously. I take them on all the matters, and I take their advice, and then I go back to the text of the statute, I go back to the related rules, and I go back to any related jurisprudence to try to form my own opinion. I think it is not consistent with my oath of office to rubber stamp the opinion of any staff in the agency unless the rules tell me that I have to treat that opinion as dispositive. I think it's my job to formulate my own judgment, and that's what I did in this case, where it was clear to me, based on the precedent and the statute and the commission rules, that the chair, who was appointed largely because of her expertise and views on tech policy issues,
Yeah, no,
and concentration in the
that's a
tech.
stretch, right? That's a stretch. A lot of us didn't even vote for her. Look, bottom line is, I need a commitment from all of you to uphold the highest standards of ethics under the law when you're giving advice on that. Can I get a commitment from each one of you, all four of you, please?
Absolutely.
Unequivocally, yes.
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 Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.